Hey, welcome to this episode of Happy in 15. Today's topic is experience is a shared goal for IT. And as you have most likely this picture from us, we say that employee experience should be the outcome of IT as well. And this picture, I think, shows the different people working in the IT department. So you have people responsible of the enterprise applications, responsible of the devices like computers and mobiles, remote working, office environment, and of course then the ITSM side, the support services. But there's also, Sami, you talk a lot with the CIOs of our customers.
Yeah.
How do they see the problem here?
So I think if you can think about this as how all of these areas are measured nowadays. So very, very complex environment. You have measurement for availability somewhere. You are measuring how the network is working. You are measuring the support services, how fast you are answering tickets and all that. From the CS perspective, a very complicated situation to really start to understand where we should be focused on in all of these metrics. So there is no problem with IT that we wouldn't be measuring things.
Yeah.
We are measuring, but it's so complex to really use that measurement to run your IT.
Yeah.
Not as you can run it in a way that you run differently all these different areas. So you have different targets for those, but not a common target. And I think their experience comes in use.
Yeah, and I think another common problem is that then you make it too simple, that you only have one overall, let's say, CSAT, and then you don't know where is it, bad, where is it good. And I think this is kind of the topic that one of our customers explains. So maybe we should listen Ahlström Munksjö, how they say that experience actually is very multidimensional.
Happy Signals data is currently one of our key data for all the IT management team members. So they all have access. They can see in multidimensional way all the status for all services, for all locations, and they have full access. And it is now part of their operational management activities. So in operational management meetings that each service owner is having, they are also looking at the NPS for their respective service areas, not just the SLAs. Yeah. So it has, I can say, almost as strong agenda item as the SLAs nowadays in all operational management calls that service owners are having.
So, Sami, what would you say about that?
Yeah, that is very well put it, and as you heard, operational in there. So whatever is the area they are talking about and where they are having meetings, experience is part of that.
Yeah.
And when you look at that from the CIO's perspective, you really kind of start to understand, okay, that is the simple one metric that you make sure that all the units are focused on that one. And not really a bad thing at all, because it's also so much more motivating. And I think we can talk about this when we go through different roles, that what is really the motivation around the experience. But I think for me, if your target used to be availability, or you are in service desk and your target is to kill tickets or close tickets, compared to the kind of how I help people and how I make them more efficient, the motivation is much better. So it is not that you have to push experience as a target. If you allow your organization to focus on that one, they will kind of automatically start to do that because it's such much more nicer metrics.
And we have one of the CIOs we know, he used to invite the service owners to the room and ask, so how is your service doing? And then he opened Happy Signal screen, picking that service, and well, now you know. Yeah. And the next time that service owner came, they didn't know. They had gone and looked at it themselves. Yeah. And I think one of the key things with Ahlström Munksjö also is that they have a very lean own IT department, and then they have multiple vendors. Yeah. So how do you give also the vendors and the partners the same common goal as you have for your IT department?
The kind of the thing what we quite often discuss is that as an enterprise, as a customer of those different organizations, you cannot ever outsource the responsibility of the experience.
Yeah.
So in those cases, whatever you have outsourced, it is a common target for you as an owner of that service and your partner. And what we try to do with our product is helping to do that cooperation, so everybody understands, okay, this is the thing that matters to the business of this organization, and we focus on developing that.
Yeah.
But I think if you look at this organization chart, and if we this time start from the top. I think what experience really means for CIOs is also kind of the dashboard, what is really going on.
Yeah.
So as Chris said, is that for him, Happy Signal is the same thing than CRM is for sales director, and kind of that thinking is really the thing what we love in that comment, and what we really think our product can deliver, or if you're not using our product, what you can get from when focusing on experience.
Yeah, and I think like CIOs, they, it's nice to have that one kind of vanity metric, which is the overall happiness or the overall productivity, but that doesn't tell you anything. But then I guess the next level is the one that CIOs really are useful. Then they can see the different areas of their IT. Yeah. Like, is it the devices? Is it like these applications? Which application? And then they can focus the budget and kind of the effort of the IT team to fix those things that actually matter for the business stakeholders and also for the people who actually bring the money in the company, who are the employees who work for the companies. Yeah.
But hey, before we move to the product and so really how that can be used, I would bring from this slide still the agents view as an example of the motivation aspect. Yeah. So we have been talking about this with agents and team leads and customers quite a long time, because in the beginning of the company we realized that when talking with kind of normal agents from different organizations, that they were quite frustrated and they kind of knew that there is something wrong, because I'm here to only close tickets, and I measure those things that I really get 20 of them closed every hour, and I'm working on this many tickets and so on. But when it changed so that they do get the direct feedback from the end users, how they help people, the motivation and learning both changed very, very dramatically immediately. And I think there was like Raki and Meat from Denmark, what they told us is that when they started to use our product, what really happened was that their agents started to be happier. Yeah. So they used to do, and they still do, kind of measurement of the agent happiness. And in the first 3 months, it went up. Yeah. Simultaneously, the happiness to the support services went up. But the reality was there that those guys felt better at work. Yeah. And I think that just influenced the how much better they were when having a contact.
And that was internal IT, but then we have customer Wilhelmsen who actually outsourced. But they did the same thing, so they started to communicate that actually you as outsourced partners, you are colleagues of our employees. You help our colleagues and you come to work to help our colleagues, and they change the SLAs so that they are not forcing them to handle multiple cases at the same time, but actually help the people who are working at Wilhelmsen. And it was unbelievable that they have the churn of their external partners, agents, is much lower than in some other customers with that partner. Yeah. So even the customer can affect your partner's agents' churn on how you motivate them. And if you have one agent there working longer, they will of course learn your systems and they can serve your employees better and that. Yeah.
I think the slogan that we came up about 2 years ago, more smiles, less time wasted, that really is not all about end users and how happy they are, but what we are able to kind of bring to the whole ecosystem. And I think that is driving us as founders. Yeah. But maybe
let's look at practically. So because how do you then actually do it? So looking like the whole IT experience, like we mentioned earlier, this could be pretty much the CIO view that you can, I can see the big picture, I can see the specific areas. So is it mobiles? Is it something else that is the one that is not working properly? But then, let's say some other role. Let's say that I'm a country manager. Yep. Country manager in Sweden. So I go and I just click on Sweden, and now all the data reflects how things work in Sweden, and I can now identify that the product management team is not very happy with the services.
Or you can look at those IT areas and see which of them are working.
Exactly.
And now depending of your own organization, how you have structured your IT, there are people maybe, as you now selected Sweden, but there also might be that if you down select that one and then take the more like departments, or what is the organization you are.
Let's say that I'm talking with the sales
team. Yeah.
So I'll just click on sales, and then we can have this conversation now with the business stakeholders as a service owner, and then say that, well, this is where your team members are really happy, and this is where we should focus next.
Yeah.
So you can be also proactive towards the business stakeholders.
And that is exactly what they are nowadays expecting. And now if you still keep the sales and click the lost time, I think that's then helping these guys who are responsible for that cooperation with the business to really talk about, okay, what is business critical for you?
Yeah, exactly.
So it is like the happiness and business criticality are about the same, but still a bit different.
Yeah.
But if you can provide this information to your customers, the business units, they start to really trust you, because this transparency, and of course, they can enter here as well. But then you focus on the things that matter.
Yeah.
And if you compare that to the current situation, that you are mainly having that one metric, which, as you said in the beginning, is vanity metrics quite often. There is no point just to show that we are so great. It doesn't help you to get better, because that really is the point.
I'll change to the ITSM side, to the service management side. So this is all the kind of ticket-based experience that we are getting. On those, you of course have these few other metrics that are very useful. There is a person probably responsible of the different touch points. So developing the portals, wondering about emails and virtual walk-ins and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So you can that person can select this one and say, okay, where are people using the portal? Clicking on that one, we can see that, okay, it's the financial systems where people are maybe struggling with that one. Yeah. So it really gives that point of view.
You can just click the walking, and if you have walking services in 2 different locations, you can see how they are doing compared to each other. Or that assignment group, which really is that kind of team aspect.
Yeah, exactly. So if I'm responsible of the first line service desk, I can just click on that one, and then we can go up again and see what was the trend, who are they serving, what seems to be the service where they are struggling the most.
And if you now scroll down a bit with that, maybe with that selection, then you can really kind of go to the, if you go here and select that first line again, and then you go down, you can see those factors. And in there, as factors for team lead, there is attitude of agents and skills of agents. Then you maybe start to kind of recognize, okay, this time it was not a process problem with that service, it is that we are not having enough skills in the first line. So maybe training is the right thing to do.
Exactly. And I think the last one, when many of our customers are outsourcing even to multiple vendors, is to see it from vendor point of view. So it's nice to show all the vendors in the same metric with the same measurement and the same line, and then seeing that, okay, if I'm talking with the outsourced company A, I just click on that one, and then we can have our meeting here. We don't have to create a PowerPoint or do something. We can see the real-time data, until today, this moment, how has the experience developed. And we can pinpoint the development areas, for example, here, office tools, and figure out, have that conversation. Why do you think that we have this issue with the office tools? It's not anymore a gut feeling. It's something that people can agree on. Yeah. But I think that's pretty much what you get out of the product.
Yeah, but I think to summarize this, I think we could even look at the Arthur Munksjö video again. But the thing was that in that what they said is that everybody can have their view to the experience. Yeah. It's not isolated area. Yeah. Everything is related to, almost everything is related to other parts. Yeah. But as an IT director, this metrics is both motivating and shared with everybody in your IT. Yeah. And if you really get that kind of point, then it's time to kind of start the journey and really start to kind of change your IT organization to be end user centric.
Exactly. But hey, I think that's about it from this episode. So thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this one. There will be again next week the next episode. So tune in, and as we say in Happy Signals, stay safe and stay happy.